This is the Amazon Echo Show 21 Smart Display. This is a fantastic tool for your kitchen, and compared to the DIY DAKboard option we covered in our last video, it is a much more user-friendly, off-the-shelf option that is ready right out of the box. So the Echo Show 21 is a digital smart display from Amazon. It is a TV, it is a music player, it is an Alexa device, it is a calendar, it is a to-do list, it is a shopping list. It can do many, many things. It has lots of widgets that you can set up with Amazon and through the Alexa app. So you have control of it through your Alexa app on your phone, and the screen is a full touch screen. So there's a lot of really great features. So let's get it installed and take a look at it. Now, as always, if there's anything that I did not cover in this video, please let me know in the comments and I will cover it for you if I can. So the first thing we notice when we start opening up the Amazon Echo Show is that it is packed very, very well. It is actually set up with a box inside of a box, and then inside of this box, there is actually another box that holds the Echo Show device. So we get all of the extra packing off of there. Surely this will have no problem showing up to your door unless the UPS guy just absolutely drop kicks it across the yard. It has some coverage paper that you need to pull off. So then we lift the screen out of the box, and underneath it we find the bracket with all of our documentation. We find the power supply, which is the only cable on this that we need, which is really nice. And then we have our remote for the Fire TV options and our mounting hardware. Also included are the batteries for the Fire TV remote. So when you open the box, there's not a lot in here that needs to be worked with. We have the mounting hardware and the remote and the power and the bracket and the instructions. So the instructions are great. They're very clear. They tell you exactly what tools you need to get out, exactly how to use them. But I'm going to walk you through the installation process if you prefer to see it visually. So we're going to walk through that installation process now. The hardware that's included is 4 drywall anchors, which will have no problem holding the weight of this screen with the bracket included. And then we need a certain set of tools that is listed in the manual to install these anchors and get it lined up properly. So the first thing that you'll need is some sort of drilling device in order to drill holes in your drywall, a 5/16 inch drill bit, a level to make sure you're getting it all nice and straight on the wall, a hammer to tap your drywall anchors in, and a screwdriver of some sort. Now, this is the Dremel Go. I will put a link to this product in the description. I find this extremely handy for long screws. And then you need some painter's tape and you have your bracket. So this is the wall we're going to be putting up the Echo Show onto. And this is our template with the painter's tape on it. We just slap the template up on the wall where we want it with the painter's tape. And then we put our level on top of the template to make sure it's flat, and it doesn't fit at all. So what I would suggest is putting it on top of your bracket, lining up your 4 holes with the X's on the template to start, and then make your micro adjustments for the proper level from there. Mine is very close to level. We'll just get it right on the dot. And then go ahead and grab a sharp pen or something to mark through the template and poke holes through the template and draw on your wall where those holes are meant to go. Once you've got those 4 holes marked, you can go ahead and take your template off the wall, and you can go ahead and check to see if those holes that you've marked overlap with any studs. Mine do not overlap with any studs. If you need a stud finder, I can put my favorite in the link in the description, but mine did not overlap with studs, so I am going to be using drywall screws for all 4 holes. Now, the drywall anchors for all 4 holes are just fine. If you did overlap with a stud, you would want to use a wood screw instead of a drywall anchor for those holes that overlap with a stud. So we'll just tap those anchors in because these are tap-in style. And then we will go ahead and get our bracket and line up our screws with the anchors and just turn our screws into the drywall anchors. With the screws going in, that will actually expand the anchors a little bit in the drywall to make sure that you have a nice tight fit. And again, you can see here, there's a lot of turning involved. My arm would get very tired if I was using a normal screwdriver. And I just love that the Dremel Go, you just put your weight right behind it in line. With the drill, you have the pistol grip. It doesn't put the force exactly where you want it as easily. You can just use the drill with a Phillips head if you want, but I love the Dremel Go for these specific types of uses. So definitely a type of tool that I keep around and very much enjoy using. And then we just plug in the one power cable into the back of the Echo Show, like so. If you're doing a vertical or a horizontal hanging, you have a little channel to shove the cable into to make sure it lies flat. And then you just put it up on the wall in line with the bracket and then let it slide down into place, feeling it lock. If you are not familiar with how it feels to put a screen on a mount, make sure that you take your time with that process and make sure you don't drop it. Now, I don't love the glossy screen. I much prefer a matte touch screen like I have on my laptop, but that's a nitpicky thing for me at this point. Then it's going to take several minutes to boot up. And once it's booted, it's going to ask you some setup questions. Now here you can see how mirror-like this screen is. This is just asking you for some accessibility options, such as if you want a screen reader or a screen magnifier, and then it's going to search for your network. If your network is already set up with Amazon products like an Echo Dot or something like that, it will already know your Wi-Fi, like it knows mine, and it will just be done right there. It will just automatically connect. It's going to talk about privacy, and this is a concern we're going to cover in the summary, but it knows where you live, which is fine. That's just pulled from your shipping information on your Amazon account, and you just tell it where you want it to pull your weather from for that sort of thing. You can tie it to a specific group of devices or room. Mine is set to kitchen, and then it will check for device updates. Now this is sped up 2,000 times, so it does take several minutes for this to go through its updates. So maybe go get a cup of coffee, watch a how-to video on something, take your time. This is going to take a minute. So now that it's done updating, you get to choose what photos you want it to display. There's a large display on the left side of the screen when it's running, and you can have your own photos put in there from an Amazon photo account, or you can pick just stock photos that it picks from a group of styles. You can have it set up to do appointment reminders, so you can set that up at this point, and then you can set up profiles for everyone in your household. So you can have a profile for yourself, for your spouse, for your kids, whatever you want. Everyone can have a profile, and we'll get into that in a little bit. You can also have the system recognize you by the camera. So if you choose to do this, this is a privacy concern that each individual needs to talk about. You can have it do facial recognition. So when you walk up to your Amazon Echo Show, it will recognize which user you are and tailor what you see to your experience that you've wanted it to give you. Whether it's your calendar, your specific interests, it will tailor what you see when you walk up to your face if it knows you. So that's the benefit of giving it your facial features. It also has a camera on the front, obviously, that can be used to view the room. So you can use it like a surveillance camera if you would like. Or you can also use it as like a FaceTime calling device. So if your kids are in the kitchen, you can have a FaceTime call with them from your phone, wherever you are, which can be beneficial if your kids maybe don't have a phone, that sort of thing, but I don't plan on using it right now. In terms of Sidewalk, this is kind of like device location and Wi-Fi extension. You can read through that, figure out if that meets your needs or not. I turned it off. I don't use that sort of thing. And then it will go through another loading screen. And once that loading screen is complete, it's going to pull you in to the Fire TV experience if you want to set that up. Now I skip straight to the home screen, and it will load up the home screen now, and you can see the widgets on the right and the main info scrolling display on the left. And the left side info scrolling display, the main section of this screen, can be set to show many different things. Workouts, recipes, photos, news. Right here you can see I'm scrolling through the full list of everything that left panel can show. It is a significant and very long list of options, all of which are turned on from the get-go. So for me, I want this device to be primarily informational and not draw me in more. So I'm going to turn almost all of these off. However, you can have as many of them turned on and it will scroll through them automatically, or you can scroll through them manually depending on how you have it set up. So turning to the calendar options, you can see the calendar here pulled up when we tap on it. And this calendar works two ways. It can use the calendar on your Alexa app, or it can use a Google Calendar or a Microsoft Calendar or an external calendar. As you can see right here, I'm typing in a new calendar event right on the screen. This is not super convenient, and this is why I said the DAKboard doesn't need a touch screen, because typing on a huge 21-inch screen is not nearly as efficient as typing on a phone. So it is nice that you can do this if you don't have your phone on you, but let's be honest, who these days doesn't have their phone on them? So that's a pretty easy way to add a new calendar event. And that's the calendar view. So looking back at the home screen, we also have a to-do list. And you can hear now I'm going to tell Alexa to add something to it. Alexa, add walk the dog to my to-do list.
I've added walk the dog to your to-do list.
Alexa, add eggs to the shopping list.
Eggs added to your shopping list. You can find it in your Alexa app.
So that's pretty convenient. The only qualm I have with that is that I can't type it on the screen. Alexa, play Terminator on Netflix.
Getting Terminator 2 from Prime Video.
The Echo Show does allow me just to use Alexa to do all the things Alexa might normally do, like play TV shows and movies on screen with just voice command, which is pretty nice, especially if your hands are really dirty from cooking, that sort of thing. So looking at the home screen, you can see if you pull down from the top, you have all of your options that you can see, and one of them is adjusting the widgets. There is a long list of widgets that you can add, and some of them are for music, some of them are for smart home. There's a lot of different options built in, ready to go for different widgets. In terms of changing the calendar, there's different profiles, and here you can see that you can add a Google Calendar, a Microsoft Calendar, or an Apple Calendar. And you simply continue and then link your account to the Alexa app. So this is going to pull my Google in if I sign in with it. Now the remote for the Fire TV, if you didn't set it up initially, does need to be paired. And so if you scroll to the top of the settings page and tap Get Started with the Fire TV remote, that will walk you through the process of pairing a new remote. And you simply just hold the home button down for a couple of seconds until the connect button comes up on the screen. Once the connect button comes up on the screen, you just tap connect, and then your Fire TV remote is paired. The Fire TV remote is nice if you don't want to use the touch screen. The only problem is it does not actually allow you to use the smart display. It only works for the Fire TV function. So if you try to go left, right, up, down with the remote in the standard smart display screen, you can't do anything. So that is the main functions of Echo Show Smart Display. Obviously, you have your to-do list, your shopping list, you have the ability to show your music streaming services, weather, video streaming, calendar, and then your family photos or whatever else you find interesting on the left side. On top, you have volume buttons up or down if you don't want to use your voice to control the volume. And really, I think this device looks very nice. So now that we've seen what the Echo Show looks like to install and to run, let's wrap up our final thoughts on this smart home device. I love DIY products. The DAKboard is by far my favorite family calendar option that exists currently, but the Amazon Echo Show 21 will have to be my top pick so far for any digital family calendar that you just want to work immediately out of the box without a lot of hassle. I would definitely suggest the Echo Show to people that I know and people in my family. While it isn't necessarily my favorite option, I think it is really great, and I do think that I will be suggesting it to people in my circles. My parents have been very interested in the digital smart display option, and I think that the Echo Show might be better for them than the DAKboard, as an example. If you like the convenience of Amazon products, specifically anything that utilizes Alexa or that kind of smart home, the Amazon Echo Show is probably for you. Right out of the box, the Amazon Echo Show has very simple operation. It has extremely simple mounting, and it has very minimal cable management. If you aren't already using any Amazon products, the experience may not be quite as flawless for you. It may not be quite as smooth, but if you're already using Amazon anywhere in your home with the Alexa app or Alexa at all, or you have in the past, there's a pretty good chance that Amazon is going to remember your Wi-Fi. It's going to remember where you live from your Amazon account, and it's going to be able to pull a lot of that data into the Amazon Echo Show setup automatically. So that's a little bit scary, but it's also really nice if you prefer ease of use above all else. It's pulling in all the data you've already given Amazon permission to use, whether you know it or not, and it is using that data, and it is using it to try to make your experience better, but it's probably also using it to try to make Amazon's experience better with you. So that's just a concern to keep in mind. So make sure you go through the privacy options when you're setting up the Amazon Echo Show. While the ability of the Amazon Echo Show to see your face and understand who you are, or anyone in your house, who they are, and show them what's pertinent to them is really cool. That's a really cool feature. Some of you may want to turn it off because maybe you don't want Amazon having all that data about your facial features and things like that. They may say they're not going to do anything bad with it, but do you trust them? If you do trust them, how much do you trust them? Things like the camera are very cool. They're very useful. The ability to FaceTime, essentially call your family and have yourself show up on the screen in the kitchen so that you can talk to your family and they can talk to you, is a neat feature. I think that's very cool. I think I would definitely use it from time to time, but I don't think it's necessary. Not to mention that there are some privacy concerns involved with that. Now you can tell that Amazon takes those privacy concerns pretty seriously, and they're doing whatever they can to make sure that people don't stop buying the product because of those privacy concerns. They are giving you the option to opt out of a lot of it, which is great, and they're giving you the option to shut off the shutter over the camera, and you have a physical block to keep that camera from seeing anything. So while I don't know if I completely trust Amazon with my data myself, I can say that it does appear did try to improve the privacy control that you have with the Amazon Echo 21 device. So I give them good marks for that, even though they're using a lot of data with Alexa that I don't always feel comfortable with. So is the Amazon Echo Show better than the DAKboard? I don't think so. I think it is better in some ways, and I think the DAKboard is better in other ways. So what's going to stay in my kitchen? The DAKboard or the Echo Show? I like the Echo Show, but it feels like an Amazon Smart TV device made for a kitchen, which is great. The DAKboard feels like an information display that I built with my family in mind. It's not meant to be intrusive. It's meant to be simple. and it's meant to be exactly what I want from that display at all times. So while I think the Echo Show is an amazing device and very well worth it for many people, it's not for me. I love the DAKboard, the way that it's set up, the way that it doesn't intrude into my everyday life. And I really prefer the ability to tweak some of those little things in the DAKboard setup to really make the screen what I want it to be. So, given the information between the DIY DAKboard and the 21-inch Amazon Echo Show, what have you decided? Feel free to let me know in the comments which one you would rather go with and why. Now, if the Echo Show is for you, consider buying it with one of my links. Amazon is not involved in this video in any way, shape, or form. They have not compensated me to make the video, and I paid for this Echo Show myself. However, based on the way that Amazon works, if you use my link to go buy an Echo Show, I will make some money off of it. It won't cost any more to buy, but I will get a small commission from Amazon for that sale. So if you liked the video, if you found it helpful, if it did convince you that you wanted to go buy an Echo Show, I would really appreciate it if you use my link. Thanks.